Okay. Change the scene. Okay, hang on just a minute. We're working on it here. But I did. Is it not showing up? So anyway, we're getting the show started here. Sometimes we have a little technical glitch on the screen. It's showing that I've got you. So let me look over here at my. Anyway, this is we love what we do here. This is 1100 WSGI, Ebenezer Broadcasting, a worldwide Christian broadcast company, and so proud to be a part of all the things that we do here. We do, everybody kind of keep an eye on the storms. Everybody be safe. When I was saying my prayers this morning, that was one of the things that I was talking about, and taking to the Lord is that I don't know what's going on with our screens; they are wonky, but just taking to God that we want to make sure that we have safety in the storms that are coming up. And I don't know what's going on with the screens. We've got something weird happening here, guys, but we'll figure this out. We'll let Ilyu work his magic, and hopefully we'll get all this going here in just a second. But if you're with us on social media, the images are not what they're supposed to be. So I'm not really sure what's happening. But welcome to it. Again, this is 1100 WSGI. And my guest in studio, I hate it when this happens, when we have little glitches and things that go, I think he just fixed it. Maybe. It's looking like he's getting it fixed. Oh, thank you, LU. He's getting it. But we've got Dr. Stephanie Evans in the house. I love it.
Good morning.
Good morning. And I think yes, there we are. We're fixed. Thank you, Ilyu, working his magic behind the scenes. Thank you so much. I don't know what went wrong with it, but we're here and everything's beautiful and wonderful. Let's do that again. Hi, this is 1100 WSGI. I'm U-Turn LaVern. This is one street over, and this is Dr. Stephanie Evans. I love saying that.
I love it too.
Oh, it's so cool.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
I forget to call your hubby doctor, because I don't know why, but I forget to, and he always comes in here, Sister U-Turn, and
yes, ma'am.
It's so funny.
Yes, ma'am.
But I hear he'll yell at me across the way, and I'm like, well, there's David.
Yes, you cannot. His voice is definitely noticeable. Yes, ma'am.
How are y'all doing? Everything good and beautiful?
Yeah, we are doing well. That's so wonderful. we are very blessed. I'm very thankful.
Well, I love watching your family. Y'all are just such a sweet family, and I know, just your kids are getting older. How old are your kids now?
So I have a junior and a 7th grader.
Oh, isn't that crazy? I've known y'all long enough that I've known them since they were little.
Yes.
And so it's like, man, that's the weird thing for me. As I get older, the weirdest thing is watching other people's kids that when they get older, I'm like, I'm getting so old.
Yeah.
I was at I have a certification class I had to go to last night. That was the only reason I wasn't in Fellowship of Christian Athletes. I'd have been there because I was going to take time off from.
They had a wonderful turnout.
Oh man, we have our CR at Madison, which I help lead, but I was going to say, hey guys, y'all got it, because I really wanted to be there for that, but I could not miss a class. We're almost finished, and I had to be there, but I was with y'all in spirit because I know it was wonderful, but they normally would have it on a football, or they normally have it at the fairgrounds. And so they moved it indoors because they were concerned about the weather. And I was so excited that they brought it over to Springfield Baptist. And I knew y'all would just be wonderful hosts. And was it wonderful? Did y'all have a great turnout?
It was. So it looked like there were a whole lot of churches representing and a lot of young people there just worshiping together with Christ. So it was wonderful to see.
I just love it. Bringing Jesus into our schools every chance we can. We have got to be bold, guys. We have got to be bold. It was so funny last night at my class. We have just like a big group of us, like maybe 30, and people will bring candy and put in the middle of the table. And I took a handful of little Jesuses and put in the middle of the table. And it was interesting to see the ones that picked them up and the ones that didn't. Because some people are so nervous about sharing their faith with their kiddos. And I mean, you can't go in there and, preach to them. But you know what? You can have symbols of your faith around so that they know that you're a safe person to ask, and you can do that. So I just encourage you to be bold, man, with your faith, and get you some little Jesuses. I know Nancy's got them up at Crossroads, and you can get them all over. You can get them on Amazon. I buy them 300 at a time on Amazon because I'm handing them out everywhere. I just love it because it opens the door.
It does. And also, too, if you accompany it just by living your life in such a way that people notice something different about you, like, hey, what's different? Like, yes. I got Jesus.
That's right.
So it makes it a lot easier.
That's really cool. Now, here's what we're here to talk about. It took us a few minutes to say hello. Dr. Stephanie Evans has really been out there talking to a lot of people this month because this is Suicide Prevention Month. And I told her, I said, next year, call me at the first or text me, remind me that it's, and what reminded me is Lee Marie did a great show on Friday. And I was like, oh my goodness, I haven't had Stephanie in. And that was my intent to call you right at the very first of the month, because here we are, but it's something we've got to be thinking about all the time.
Absolutely. So September is a month that people in my profession, we do a lot to raise awareness and to get information out there, but really it is something that we're doing 24/7, 365 days a year. And our hope is that eventually our communities are able to do that too, because the more our communities are talking about suicide, the more people who are experiencing suicidal ideation feel comfortable sharing what they're going through and reaching out for help and finding resources. So it really is important that we talk about it. I'm grateful that we're talking about it during the month of September, but people need hope all day, every year, all year round. So yes, the month of September has been very busy. So I'm very thankful. I am part of the Robertson County Health Council, and the Robertson County Health Council is just a group of individuals. There's individuals from the health department, from the library, from UT Extension, from multiple places. And this whole month, we've been really focused, and actually this whole year, our health council has really been promoting suicide prevention awareness and promoting trainings and things of that sort. And because of that, our health council was very blessed that we were recognized by the Tennessee Suicide Prevention Network and TADIS as a suicide prevention champion in rural communities. And our health council even received a grant. So we received a grant. It's called the Essence Rapid Response Plan Grant. I can tell you more about that. But basically, we've been given a lot of money to pour into suicide prevention awareness in our community. And so that's one thing I want to highlight on here. If you are out there and you're like, hey, I want to help raise awareness outside the month of September, there's things that I would love to do, but I just don't have the funds to resource that. Please reach out to myself, or our chair is Ms. Lauren Patterson. So you can reach out to her and just let us know kind of your thoughts and ideas. And we would love to try to resource anything that would help promote suicide prevention in our community and promote training and just resource people. So
what can we do in the schools? Because we had a poster that one of my students made last year, and it was up, and when I came back for fall, it was gone, but it was 988, the suicide prevention line. And we had that up, and I'm going to have some more printed and put them back up. But that's one thing we can do, but what do we need to be doing in the schools?
Yeah, well, before I answer that directly, so one of the things the grant that we received is called the Essence Rapid Response Plan Grant. And what the Essence system is, it's a surveillance system that gathers data. So anytime someone presents to an emergency department for suicidal ideation, it captures that data. So even if I am presenting to Tenova, which is in Clarksville, if I'm a Robertson County resident, it's going to capture that data and show that data as being for Robertson County. And so what we do know with that data is we can see when there's an increase in specific populations who are presenting to the emergency department specifically for suicidal ideation or suicidal behavior. And what we did see during the month of August, because we get alerts when there's been a significant uptick, is that during the month of August, the population that we did see the most uptick in was individuals from 5 to 17 years of age. Wow. And so we do know that our young people are experiencing suicidal ideation. We do know that our young people are in need of finding those keep safe connections that can help them while they're in those moments and keep them safe until they can get connected to the appropriate professional help. So it is something that, people in our school system should be aware, parents should be aware, coaches should be aware. Everybody really should be aware of what they can do to prevent suicide. And so one of the things that we do, so I'm also part of an organization called Mighty Oak Christian Mental Health Services. And one of the things that we do is we offer free suicide prevention training. So we offer that to churches, to organizations, to anybody that is interested in training their staff on how to help people recognize the signs and symptoms of mental illness, or even signs and symptoms that someone's at risk of suicide, and then what you can do once you've identified that they're a person at risk, how you can keep them safe and get them help. So if anyone is ever interested in receiving a training, we do mental health first aid for both adult and youth. We also do QPR, which is a much shorter training. And then I just even yesterday did a safe talk training. And so there's lots of suicide prevention curriculums out there that go from as little as 1 hour to as much as an entire day. Some of them are even 2 days long. So depending on what your organization needs, we probably have a training that can meet your time need and still give you tools that will help you in the world of suicide prevention.
Awesome. And I'm just sitting here thinking about, we have all of our professional development things that we do at school. This should be there. I just really think that this is something that we spend so much time on so many things, but to me, I don't know why it just needs to be there. And I mean, I'll make a suggestion, to the administration to say, hey, can we do this on a PD day, on a professional development day? There's so many things because I mean, you talk to your kiddos and um, some of the things that they're dealing with is just breathtaking, and they get overwhelmed very quickly. And so many of them don't have the hope of faith anymore. And when they don't, they figure, what does it matter?
Yeah.
And they just have this hopelessness on
Yeah.
them, and you can see it. You can tell the ones that are there.
Yeah, and hopelessness is one of the biggest predictors of suicidal ideation. If someone is experiencing hopelessness, they're at significant risk of suicide. And so it's really important when we have those individuals in our life that we are trying to find ways to instill hope in them so that they realize that we want them to be here tomorrow. And so absolutely. When you see someone who's hopeless, we want to surround that person with care and help them find hope.
What is that? That's one of the things. It's like as I'm sitting here talking, it's like, what's the first thing you do? What's the first thing you do?
Great question. I
Good.
love that
Okay, 'cause
question.
I'm sitting there thinking, what can I ask for
Yeah.
that will help? So what's the first thing you do?
So I will say, so all the trainings I mentioned really do help equip people with the skills and knowledge that they need. But if you're just needing something short, like I don't have time to go to a training, there are some suicide prevention campaigns that I love promoting because they do give you quick, easy, simple things that you can do. So one of the ones I like to promote is Be the One To. And so they have just a 5-step action plan, and even organizations can customize their action plan to kind of help promote it to their specific populations. And so their first step is that, be the one to ask. Be the one that asks the person the question, are you having thoughts of suicide? And directly ask that question. Because what we do know is that when you ask the question for the person who's experiencing suicidal ideation, what you do is you actually give them a safe place for them to talk about what they're experiencing. So they realize that you are someone who's going to sit with them in those difficult thoughts and feelings, and you're going to be there for them. And you're going to you're just going to be someone who genuinely cares about them and what they're going through. So if you ever have doubts, anything is telling you your gut, I'm worried about this person, just directly ask the question, are you having thoughts of suicide? And so so be the one to ask is the first step. And then the second step in the Be the One to campaign is just be the one to be there. Be the one that's present and allow them to share what they're experiencing. Allow them to tell you about the thoughts that they're having and just be present with them. So often when we have individuals in our communities that experience physical health issues, we surround them. We give them casseroles. We check on them. We send them cards. We put up prayer lists for them. But if I was someone who's experiencing a mental health challenge or having thoughts of suicide, that's not what most people in our communities do. Most people might either abandon us because they are fearful of either maybe saying the wrong thing or fearful of making whatever we're going through worse. They don't check on us the same way they would as if we're having a physical health challenge. And so we really want to encourage people, just be the one to be there, be present. When people are experiencing those mental health challenges or having thoughts of suicide, be there, be present with them, check on them. And so after you be the one to ask and after you be the one to be there, the next step that they have is be the one to keep them safe. So if someone is experiencing suicidal ideation and they have thought of how they might act on those suicidal ideation, it's really important that we keep them safe from anything that they could use to harm themselves. One of the things that we do know about suicide is that the leading cause of death for individuals who die by suicide is firearms. And so while I'm not saying firearms are bad or firearms are good, we do know that when people are in vulnerable places, they are an easy access thing that people could use to harm themselves or to die by suicide. And so we really stress about keeping people safe from anything that they might use to harm themselves or to die by suicide, to kill themselves. And so being mindful if I am if experiencing mental health challenges and if I'm experiencing thoughts of suicide, but maybe I carry a firearm, I just need to be mindful of allowing maybe a spouse or allowing a loved one just to hold on to that for just a little bit of time until I can get myself into a healthier state of mind, until I feel like I can keep myself safe and don't need others to assist me with that. So their third action step is really just be the one to keep that person safe. And even medicines. So a lot of times we're not mindful of what we're leaving in our medicine cabinets. And so it's really important that, especially if we have young people, just being mindful of what is available to them in our medicine cabinets and locking those medicines up. I think that's really important as well. And then their fourth action step is just be the one to connect. So if you are aware of resources in the community and you see someone who's experiencing suicidal ideation, share those resources with them. Let them know, hey, I know a lot of people in our community that can help you with this. Here's their information. Can I take you to them? So there's a lot of resources out there that you can help them connect with when they're experiencing suicidal ideation. So you don't have to be the person that solves their problems. You just have to help them in their moment of crisis find the appropriate professional help who can be with them and can help them in their journey towards wellness.
That's amazing. I mean, just all those things. I'm just sitting here just trying to take notes because my son, I have a lot of conversations with him because he is in counseling, and the words you're using and y'all sound just alike. And so, but the one thing that he reminds me of, and that you've got to be trained. You got to make sure you're saying the right thing. I think that's one of the hardest things for a lot of us that see situations. You think, well, I don't want to say, are you thinking about suicide? Because I don't want to put the idea in their head if they hadn't thought of it. So what about that as a concern?
So that's actually a common myth. So a
Yeah.
lot of people think that if I ask someone directly about, are you having thoughts of suicide, that I'm going to put that idea in their head. But the reality is you're not going to put the idea in their head if it's not already there. Basically what you're doing is if you ask someone, are you having thoughts of suicide, you're shining light on a dark place that they're already in that darkness of suicide, but you're shining a light on it and letting them know, hey, I'm help. I'm here. You can talk to me about what you're experiencing. So the reality is that if someone is experiencing thoughts of suicide, you asking the question, are you having thoughts of suicide, does not put the idea in their head. It only allows them a safe place to open up if they're already experiencing that.
So, with all that said, how do we know when we need to ask the question?
Yeah. So one of the wonderful things about a lot of the trainings that I do is they really do talk about the signs and symptoms that are present if someone is experiencing suicidal ideation. And what the training really does, it helps you say, it helps you know that, it's not our job to treat or diagnose, but it's our job to recognize the signs. And if we see the signs, to then ask the question so we can determine if suicide is something that the individual is experiencing thoughts of. And so really any type of change in mood, especially if someone has had a change in mood to where they are being more depressed, that is something you want to be mindful of. But we do say a change of mood in any direction. So you could have someone that has been in a long period of depression, but all of a sudden they are experiencing a change in mood to where they are appearing a little bit happier. And so that's a change in mood that you want to recognize as well as a possible sign or symptom, and try to identify why is that change in mood there. Because sometimes when someone has been carrying around this burden and this pain for so long and they've identified a solution, and even if that solution is suicide, you might see a change in mood because in their mind they might be thinking that the pain is going to end. And so you really want to be mindful of any type of dramatic change in mood, dramatic change in behavior. If someone is directly telling you that they are having thoughts of suicide, we want to take that serious every single time. One of the other common things we hear in our community is like, oh, they're just saying that for attention. And so we really try to dispel that myth. Anytime someone is communicating to you that I am having thoughts of suicide, we want to take it serious every single time, and we want to make sure that we are keeping that person safe and that we are getting that person connected to any of the helps that would be most beneficial for them.
Okay, because that's the thing. Because being around these kiddos, man, I take it so seriously. I'm so mindful of how they act, and I'm thinking about a student that has just this week just seemed more down. And I don't know if because these older kids, they're working a lot, they're coming into school tired, and I'm thinking, okay, are you just working extra? What's going on? But I know a little bit about their background to where I know they don't have a super stable family life either. And so flags go up all the time with these kiddos. And I just don't want to say the wrong thing at the wrong time. But in the same sense, man, I don't want to get that notice that something happened with this student, and I was thinking that maybe there might be something. That would just break my heart.
Yeah, one of the trainings I did yesterday, so Safe Talk is another training that I do, and it really talks about identifying the invitations that are out there. And what they mean by invitations, they mean when someone is showing you something that you see, hear, sense, or learn about someone that puts this thought in your head, I'm worried about that person. I think they might be having thoughts of suicide. And so one of the things that really encourages you is a way of asking the question. So for example, it might be saying, hey, to whatever person you're talking about, I've noticed you haven't been coming into work lately, or I've noticed you've been appearing tired lately. I've noticed you haven't been eating lately. And I've noticed your family's going through this significant change. And sometimes when people are experiencing those things, they might also have thoughts of suicide. And I just want to know, are you having thoughts of suicide? So when you ask them kind of, hey, I've noticed these behaviors, and because I've noticed these behaviors, I know when people experience those, sometimes they have thoughts of suicide. Are you having thoughts of suicide? So it kind of normalizes it and lets them know that when other people go through these struggles, this might be something that they experience. And if that's something you're experiencing, I'm a safe person and I want you to talk to me about what you're experiencing so that I can be someone who helps you through those moments.
Okay. I mean, such good information, guys. Dr. Stephanie Evans, how can people find you? I don't want to run out of time.
Yeah.
We do have Brian Pulley coming in here at 7:30 today, but how can they get in touch with you? Because I know you have your clinic now.
Yes, I do have my clinic. So before I give you my information, I do want to give you the suicide crisis and lifeline number. So that is 988. So 988 is a number that you can call, chat, text if you are experiencing emotional distress, if you're having suicidal ideation, or maybe you have a loved one that's experiencing suicidal ideation and you just don't know how to help. You can call 988. So it's available 24/7. If you call it, a trained clinician is on the other line to help you. 988 is available in Spanish as well as for the deaf and hard of hearing community. And it also has a specific line that is for veterans. So it is a number that I really encourage. If you don't have it committed to memory, you want to get it in your memory because it is a number you do want to call if you're ever having emotional distress or in crisis or having thoughts of suicide. If they want to reach me, so like I said, I am with Mighty Oak Christian Mental Health Services, and we provide individual therapy, family therapy, couple therapy, and then suicide prevention training. I partner with the Tennessee Suicide Prevention Network to host a lot of the trainings that I do. And so we're very thankful for that partnership. But yeah, they can call me at 615-389-5589.
Do the number twice.
615-389-5589.
Very good. And what is the counseling that you provide? Is it covered under insurance?
So great question. So it could be. It is not yet. So Mighty Oak just opened its doors in June, and so we are still going through the process of getting paneled with various commercial insurances. Mm-hmm. So right now we are only able to offer self-pay services, but we do anticipate that happening within the next 3 to 4 months of being paneled with different insurances. But if for some reason someone needs access to counseling and they do need to use their insurance, because most people do need to use their insurance, it's very difficult to pay out of pocket for health services. So if they do need to use their insurance, then they can still call me and I can get them connected with a resource list that has resources for Robertson County, Sumner County, Montgomery County, and Cheatham County. So if I'm not what someone needs, they're still welcome to call, and then I can hopefully be a light that points them in the right direction.
And you're on the edge of being able to take the insurance and all that.
Yes,
as well.
still a work in progress,
Okay.
but yes,
wonderful.
Ma'am.
And so where are y'all located?
So I am actually very blessed to be located in the Harvest Baptist Association. So they have been wonderful and hospitable to me. So my office is currently there as we are growing because we are a nonprofit. So yes, so with being a nonprofit, funds are not always readily available. So we are currently in the Harvest Baptist Association. That's where my office is. It is Park Plaza Drive, so 2106 Park Plaza Drive, Springfield, Tennessee. But if you know where Sonic is in Springfield, it's just like the street right over. So.
Okay, I didn't realize that the Baptist Association had an office there. Okay,
yes. So especially too, like if you were a church in the area and you need to be resourced, or you need information, or you need assistance with something, they are a great source of information. They also offer the ELL classes, so if you want to get connected with that program, or if you're interested in teaching for ELL, I know they would always take volunteers.
We've had them in to talk about that before, and I don't know, I just love. If you've never taught English, if you've never been ESL is what we call it, but same thing. If you've never worked in that and you've got some time to volunteer, it is so rewarding, such a blessing. What are we missing, Steph? I don't want to run out of time and not get this out because this is so important. It's just it's just heartbreaking. We all know people
Yeah, well,
lost loved ones to suicide.
The only thing I did not share was the fifth step of the be the one to, and that was just be the one to follow up. And so if you ever have someone that has experienced thoughts of suicide and maybe you've helped them get connected with resources that are helping them, just continue to follow up with them, continue to check on them, continue to invite them to things. And sometimes even if maybe due to where they're at in their mental health journey, maybe they're not ready to go out and socialize with a lot of people, invite them over just for you for dinner. So just be the one to continue following up with people and just recognize that, health is health. And so we need to show people the same love and care for when they're experiencing mental health challenges as we would when they're experiencing physical health challenges.
So can I get you to come in and do this, be the one little thing that you did in our little newsroom, and let's do like a special thing with some of the students.
Yeah, and I even have images as well. So if you go to Mighty Oak Christian Mental Health Services, it's mightyoakmentalhealth.org. But if you go there, you can see the images, or if you go to Facebook, we have a Facebook profile, so you can see the images that also highlight each of those steps.
I really want to have you come in and do this, because we could if we produce it, and then we can kind of push it out to the school, and that's another way. I wish we'd have done it the 1st of September, but we can talk about just the fact that we just want to make sure. I think September really is the perfect time to focus on this, because that's on the edge of the holidays. And as you start, as soon as I don't like that Halloween's part of the holidays, but it is a Harvest Fest, we'll call it. But you go from the minute we hit October, everybody is like, we've got all the things to do, and we've got, we're going to have our Harvest Fest stuff, we're going to have our Thanksgiving, and then right into Christmas and New Year's. And if you don't have somebody to do that with, it is an extremely depressing time. If you're in school and your family doesn't get into all these festivities, that was one thing when I was talking to kids last year as we got into the holiday season. The ones I'm like, what are you going to do for the holidays? Nothing, because they don't have anybody really. Their family works maybe, and maybe it's just a single, and it's hard. And those are times that I think it's particularly hard. And so maybe we'll do that as the focus as we're maybe as we're coming off a suicide prevention month and we're heading into the holiday season. We know it's a time that's hard. Mm-hmm. Maybe set it up that way. Would that work?
Yeah, you just let me know. Okay. So yes, ma'am.
Let me talk to my students, because I've got a couple of students in mind that would be perfect to do the interview, because I want one of them sitting there with you behind the news desk and just do this, because it's another way we can just remind the kids there's help. This is not something you need to face alone. Yeah. And we've just got to be more intentional about it. We really just want to make sure we communicate that hope is real, help is available, and recovery is possible. A lot of times people don't understand that recovery is possible. And if we can just let them know it is possible, then it can help them find hope. One more question. It's that word hope. What would be one of the things if you're trying to instill hope in somebody, okay? Well, outside of faith.
Okay, that's what you're saying. I was like, I got your answer right there.
Your answer right here. We just need you a little Jesus. I can hand you some little Jesuses and all that. Okay, some kids don't want faith. Mm-hmm. I've had situations sometimes where something will happen and I'll say, well, if you're a praying person, well, I'm not. Mm-hmm. So what do you do with people that are not people of faith?
To instill hope.
Yeah,
a lot of times. So one of the things that we is growing verbiage in our community is positive childhood experiences. And so really talking about increasing the number of positive childhood experiences that we have available to our children. And so because we know that adverse childhood experiences, it can really impact brain development and just trajectory of life. Mm-hmm. And so the more positive childhood experiences we can put in a young person's life, the greater the outcome for them, the chances of them being able to overcome their adverse childhood experiences. And so honestly, just being a caring adult in a young person's life is a huge protective factor. So if young people have at least 2 caring adults outside of their immediate family dynamic, we can really make a difference in allowing them to overcome and be resilient for anything that they've experienced in life. So just continue being a genuine caring person in that young person's life, and that's huge. That goes a long way to help find hope.
I love it. And who knows, you might get a little Jesus on them along the way.
Yes, ma'am.
It's so funny. The positive childhood experience is Tiffany Thompson with Baby Court.
Yes, ma'am.
That's her verbiage.
Yep.
As you're sitting there, I'm like, oh, that sounds like stuff Tiffany's been talking about.
I love Miss Tiffany.
Well, and my son talks about that stuff too. Mm-hmm. And with counseling, he's a counselor out in Jackson, and those are the things he talks about. So it's wonderful to see the things that have happened with our mental health development and the the education, it's just been incredible. Just getting to know you and Tiffany, and listening to my son, it's wonderful that we take this serious, and because we used to not. We used to shove it behind behind the door, and but mental health is just like physical health, man. It's something you got to take seriously.
Yeah.
So.
And we've been making progress in our communities, but we still have a long way to go.
We do. Well, anything I can do to help, and I'm so glad you had time to come in.
Thank you.
Well, I'm going to have you come into the studio and at the school, and we're going to do something. But I'll talk to some of my kiddos today that I think would be really good to do this. One in particular I think is perfect. So we're gonna set this up.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
Ma'am. Thank you for
Dr.
having me
Stephanie
here.
Evans. Thank you so
I
much.
appreciate you.
I love calling you a doctor. It's
So
just
I get to take a little Jesus with me?
You absolutely can take care. You have two. I buy them 300 at a time.
I love it.
And yes, but Nancy has them at Crossroads if you don't need them as much as that's when Nancy goes, I've got them. Yes, she does. I love Miss Nancy.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you
I
so much.
appreciate you.
And so we're going to let her make her way out, and then Brian Pulley's going to come on in here with United Way. And as they're making the switch, let's talk about our friends over at Veterans Motorplex. Veterans Motorplex at the Rim. I love that. And you're going to really need to be keeping your eyes on the website this weekend, or the Facebook page, because I don't know what the weather's supposed to do on Saturday. I know we got some crazy weather coming in here tomorrow because they're moving. Football games have been moved to tonight. If you have normally a Friday night football game, they have moved it to tonight because of the threat of the storms. So that's something we need to remind everybody of. But will the storms be here on Saturday? If they are, watch the social media page for Highland Rim Speedway or for Veterans Motorplex at the Rim, but you find them at Highland Rim Speedway, the historic Highland Rim Speedway. That's what we're talking about. This is at 6801 Kelly Willis Road in Greenbrier. But guys, the season's coming to an end at the end of October. So they might, race a little bit in November. It just depends on the weather. But typically they end in October. You don't want to miss out on the season. Get out there and go to the races. It's so much fun. Take a $40 ticket, take your whole family. That gets up to 6 kids and 2 adults for $40. They got a great concession stand. I always talk about a lot of the local kids. That's their first summer job. It's just a blast. And they're in the middle of this big double header. This is the Legends and the Bandoleros that are running. They had the first race last weekend and plan on having the other one on Saturday. Again, weather permitting. Gates will open at about 4:15, racing at about 7. Get out to the races. Don't miss it before the season is over. This is the old Highland Rim Speedway for Veterans and Motorplex at the Rim. When you talk to them all, please let them know that U-Turn sent you. And as we're continuing on talking this morning, we'll have a friend Brian Pulley in the house. How you doing, Brian?
I'm doing fantastic.
Really good.
Yeah.
Really good. Just got to give a shout out. We were at HCA for my kid won this really big award, if you haven't heard.
Talk on it. Speak on it.
He is the Innovator of the Year for HCA.
Now, what does that mean?
I don't know. Innovator of the Year. It's like
Yeah.
it's like a company wide across the country, and so it was. If you go to my social media page, you can find links to it, and there's a video about him. I don't really understand what he did, but he helped with some kind of an automation that saved him a lot of money. And my kids are really smart, so you don't want me to start bragging on my kids, but yeah.
You should. I mean, for an organization like that, which is ironic. We had an event yesterday over at Belmont's their new College of Medicine. So they've just got that going. And Sam Hazen, who's the CEO of HCA, which HCA, for those who don't know, is a huge supporter of United Way and has been for a long time. He was the main speaker there yesterday. Yeah. So I got to hear some of his, why they do what they do philanthropically and all that kind of stuff. And it was very interesting. And so to get an award like that is fantastic. For a company like that. That's a big time company. So
I got to meet him.
Yeah.
I got to meet him because he was there. And it was just neat. And but the reason I was saying we were there, they opened up this it was an impact room or something, talking about how they impact the community. And there's this one wall that you go over and you slide it, and there's United Way and Stuff the Bus. And it was so cool. I was like, oh, and I took pictures.
I got your video.
Yeah,
it came
'cause
through.
I just thought that was so cool because,
Yeah.
you talk about what a great partner they are, but that's the
Man.
reason why I was, bringing up my
Right.
kids' award again. But
If you've been talking about that a lot, that's why. That's why you didn't want to get into it more. I was trying to lay it up for you. Go ahead and run.
I've talked about it too much, and we've been sharing videos and all that, and we're just super proud of him. And
You should be.
yeah, we're pretty excited.
If Mama can't brag on you, then who could brag on you?
There he is. Look at that.
Looking sharp.
Yeah,
That's
and
cool.
And inside that impact, there's images of him up in there. It's pretty exciting.
It's a big deal.
Big deal.
It's a big deal.
We were pretty excited.
That's
about
not. I mean, that's not a mom and pop company that's award you either. They're a global entity there. So yeah,
we were pretty
Yeah.
stoked and just shocked.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like I said, I'll brag on my kids and be like, my boys, man, they're all smart as whips, and they're just I'm very thankful to the Lord for letting me be a part of their lives because they're just on loan to you.
Amen.
Kids are on loan to you.
Amen.
You got to not mess them up. That's what you got to not do. So it's all God.
Right.
But I'm just,
Sure.
I'm very proud of my boys.
You should be.
I
You
am.
should be.
I am.
I will brag on my kid. You give me a sliver of an opportunity. I'm gonna brag on my children, and I think we should.
Yes,
We want
I do too.
Yeah, especially when they're doing good things, and like you said, our job is to hopefully with the good Lord's guidance prepare them for what's to come in this world, and hopefully they go make it a little bit better than it was before they got there.
Amen.
So yeah, I
Amen.
love your little Jesuses out.
Well, how many do you want?
I own a couple because I got.
I buy them like 300 at a time.
I've been the one you gave me. I have been. My son thinks it's fantastic,
Okay.
and he totes it with him to school now.
Awesome.
And he says he said I need a little Jesus. I said you need more than a little Jesus. We need a lot of Jesus, but yes, a little is better than yeah. So no, these are awesome. He thought it was fantastic.
I had Coach Wood. He is one of our teachers up at Greenbrier, and I gave him one when I first got onto this. And this started with Bethany Tees. Dr. Bethany Tees, my physical therapist up at Star Physical Therapy. She was showing it to me one day, and I was like, oh, those are awesome. And it tied into a lesson I was doing at Celebrate Recovery the next night. And I was like, I got to get me some little Jesuses. And so I started bringing them in because Celebrate Recovery is it's a 12-step program and also based on the 8 Beatitudes from Sermon on the Mount. But instead of saying we have a higher power, we name our higher power. So the little catch line for our CR is, okay, if you've been trying other step programs and they've not been working, why don't you try one with a little Jesus in it? And you might want a whole lot more. And so we'll give our people
That's awesome.
little Jesuses.
That's awesome.
And so, and then I hand them out all over the place. We were up north for a wedding. I was somewhere in Wisconsin, and I was handing these little Jesuses out to people, and they looked at me like I was crazy. And then they're like, oh, "Can I have 2 more?" So I put them up. But it's just not really something as common up in. We're down here. We're
It's Bible
we're
Belt.
evangelicals. Man.
Yeah, that's
Come
right.
on.
That's right.
So we're
gonna
both.
tell you about Jesus.
That's
if you
right.
yeah.
So anyway, but I've been handing these out left
Yeah.
and right, having so much fun. I'll tell you real quick, and then we'll
Yes,
get
man. No, we're good. We're
so
good.
I'm at the ballpark last Tuesday night, and with my grandson got 2 home runs. Oh, it was awesome. But anyway, so my little bitty grandson, the 2-year-old, he's playing with this excavator in the dirt, and so he comes up, and I had a pocket full of little Jesuses, and I put a little Jesus in the driver's seat. Well, he wanted more because he wanted to put them in the trucks and all this, and so I gave him some little Jesuses, and I looked down, and in the dirt there's like 4 or 5 little Jesuses just laying there covered in dust. And this little boy named I think his name's Ford, and his same age, and a friend of his, and he comes walking up, and he looks down the dirt, and he goes, Jesus! And he picks that little, and it's just filthy dirty, and then he goes, another Jesus! And he starts picking them up and showing everybody, Jesus! And he's just the cutest little thing. But I told him, I said, you keep them, and I'm going to give you enough for your Bible school class, because they had about 10, and I said, how many's in his Bible school class? And so I gave him a handful to take to church. But that was the funniest thing. He goes, Jesus, another Jesus. He was the cutest thing, but I just got a big kick out of that.
From the mouths of babes, right?
Yeah.
So pure. Yeah.
So
Well, I've got so many stops today. I have a literal day full, and so I'm gonna put these in my pocket.
For you.
And you never know the conversations that you have throughout the day, and people will give you little openings. And I don't mean to go to church here for a little bit.
I got to leave one here in the
No, you're good.
No,
You're good.
I've got one right here.
Okay.
I've got a whole handful of them in the car.
I will distribute.
Absolutely.
So I will distribute.
Absolutely. It's my contribution to the gospel there.
That's right.
We're going to keep getting it. We got to be bold. That's why I was talking to
Yes,
Stephanie, Dr.
yes.
Stephanie Evans. I love
Yes.
calling her that. But I was talking to her about we've got to be bold. We have got to start being bold.
In these times, especially,
We
yes.
just got to. We gotta let people know where
Right.
we stand. And this is, guys, this is just a fun little way to remind. We wear our crosses and we wear the things that. And one of the reasons why I say God bless all the time, and the reason I started doing that, and it's been, oh my gosh, 10, 15 years ago when I started doing that, because I want to make sure people know if I only have one interaction with you, I want you to know whose side.
Right. Yeah.
I don't wear
Yes.
a cross for decoration. I wear it because that's my mission is to be an ambassador for God and Jesus. And so I started doing that many years ago, but this one, it's another level. And, I'm just been amazed at the conversations that started.
Right.
It's like, hey, I got something for you. Get a little Jesus. If you get a little, you're going to want a whole lot more.
You can't help but smile when you see it too. That it can't, even if whatever your beliefs are or whatever. But what you said is 100% correct. We do have to be bold, and it's something I've struggled with in my life is sharing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then I've heard so many sermons on like we've been given this beautiful gift, and like why would you not want somebody else to have that and and let that run through you like a river? Just pass it on. And so if you do get opportunities to share, and you never know what people are going through, and I heard you talking about the mental health stuff too, and I do think that's probably, if there is a good thing that came out of the COVID stuff, is like we actually started paying attention to our mental health, and it's something at the United Way, health is one of our pillars, and it's not just your physical health. Like your mental health literally ties to your physical health, and so it can cause so many physical problems if your mental health is not right. And so I think as a society, we've gotten a lot more comfortable talking about it, and people are openly discussing that they're in therapy or they're trying to do stuff for anxiety or whatever, that they're depression or whatever they're dealing with. And I think it's beautiful because it helps to share that you're experiencing that, because we've all experienced it. I don't care, especially with men, it's like how we got to be the tough guy and it's, strong, silent and all that. We're all dealing with stuff, right? All of us have. And all of us have had periods of depression probably in our life, or mild, there's more severe cases, I know, but like times where you just don't feel good, or times where you're anxious about something, or times where you're struggling with a loss or something like that. And so to be able to talk about that and have resources to talk about that, that is at least the one good thing that's come out of that. So I think we're openly discussing it. I heard someone say, I look forward to the day where we discuss our mental health the same way we do our physical. You'll see people saying, I'm going to the gym to get in shape. And they're very open about it, and they talk about it. But people is like, if you're going to therapy, it's like some kind of taboo subject. It shouldn't be. You're trying to better yourself. You're trying to be a better, better husband, better father, better brother, better friend. You know what I mean? And like, that's a huge part of it. So that's cool that at least that I think we've made that move to it, and openly discuss it, because it is a stuff that a lot of people have suffered with in silence for a long time.
You better believe it. And I just, I've been real candid about my sister, who is very bipolar, and when she was fighting her cancer, she got to a place where, I was praying for healing, and she's like, unless I can be healed mentally and physically, I'm ready to go see Jesus.
Right.
She just got that point because she struggled with it for so long. We didn't really know.
Right.
I mean, it was going on when she was in her teens, but we didn't really know what to do to help her. And then when she finally had was doing really well, but then when the cancer treatment started, it really messed with her medicines and all that kind of stuff. And so I'm telling you, if you've had experiences with it, you know what we're talking about. It's a real thing, and you just got to take it seriously. You just got to take it seriously. But I enjoyed talking to Dr. Stephanie Evans about that. But and this is we're going to build on this. I was telling her we're going to do something about it, saying building on the fact that September was the awareness month, but we're going into the holidays, and that's just, I think that's positioning to say we got to take this seriously. You got to pay attention. We're doing at our Celebrate Recovery. Normally we don't because we're on Wednesday night, and we have not in the past year since we've been doing this had anything on the Wednesday night before Thanksgiving because we couldn't facilitate it. This year we are. We're going to have something because we need to have that connection for these folks. And there's help out there is the bottom line.
That's right. Seek it.
Yeah,
Seek it. It is.
You gotta let people know what's going on.
Reach out. If you don't know where to go, talk to somebody you think may be able to point you in the right direction. And I promise you, they will help you. They will.
988.
That's right. That's right.
988.
It is never too late. It is never too much. You can start today. And I'm telling you, I mean, we know we're on a Christian radio station here, but My Jesus is the one that has pulled me out of many holes, and I start there.
Yep.
But also, he has blessed a lot of people with the gift to help you with therapy and other things. And so don't be afraid to reach out. And there's a lot of beautiful people that want to help you. I promise you. So.
And I just keep going back to that 988 is such
Yes.
a great resource, but I'm going to spin off of that and go to the 211 because these little help numbers that you have out there that do offer help. I guarantee you, if you called 211 and you said, "Hey, I'm having some issues with suicide," they would point you to 988.
That's right.
Because that's what United Way does. And as a matter of fact, I gave out the 211 number last night.
Yes.
I was at my class that we have for my teaching certification. One of the sweet teachers that's there, a young man that he was like, "Man, I had this student and he was coaching and he said, you've got to get your physical." And he finally told him, he goes, "I don't have the $10 to go to the physical." He goes, "And I got to digging into it and found out they're just about on the edge of being on the street and mom's car's been broken down, just all these things." And he's wanting to help and, different things. And I told him, I said, 211. You need to call.
Start there. Yeah.
And I said, because that is the bridge builder to the nonprofits. And I said, that will point you to a lot. And he was like, "Oh, people don't realize
Right.
those quick little ways that you can find help." And 211's another one. Call that number.
Right.
No matter what's going on. And United Way is doing such a good job at building the bridges to all the nonprofits to let people know here are your options.
There is help. There is help.
So much help.
And sometimes I know people get frustrated because it is difficult to find sometimes, and you gotta persevere and you gotta keep moving forward. But I promise you, there is help out there, and I hear them every single day. And it's because of my profession, the success stories of people that were, I promise you, in lower places than you were, and they were able to find their way out through resources, through church, there's a lot of combinations that went into it, but it started out with them seeking. And there's people out there that are trained that want to help. That is. They get up every single morning. I work with them. Our partner agencies, I'm around them. They get up in the morning because they want to serve their community and they want to help people in need. That's literally their purpose in life, and they're doing it every day. But you got to seek. They're not going to come to your house and say, "Oh, I just had a feeling you need help."
What's going on?
Yeah, what's going on? You have to seek, but they are out there, I promise you. And I know it feels hopeless sometimes, but they are out there.
Bethlehem Center is one that when Tiffany was still here, we had some issues with a family we were working with. This is back in the winter. Put them in touch with Bethlehem Center. That didn't necessarily work out with that one. But then we had another situation arise just a couple of months ago. We went and called Bethlehem Center again, and that is a success story. The family they were working with is now in an apartment because they were back on the streets, and we were like, we don't know what to do. I mean, we don't want to continue to help in the wrong way. And Bethlehem Center has been just such a good resource for us just to talk through when we had a situation where we weren't helping. We had to back off in the winter, and they were the ones who told us, "Y'all need to just back off," because they're you know what I mean? It's a situation that we weren't helping. And they were just so good at that. And so I appreciate that connection. But now we've got a wonderful success story with Bethlehem Center's help. And just, it's just, there's a lot of help out there.
There's a lot of help.
Bottom line, United Way. What are you here to talk about today?
I've got a few things. I'm going to cover some of our partner agency stuff. Catherine is not here today, but also just a couple of on our side of the house. We are in campaign season, and so this is when we typically raise the majority of our funds that are able to fund those partner agencies that I was speaking about. And so just wanted to encourage you, if you are interested in getting involved in any way. It's not just like, well, I have 3 people in my company. What am I going to do? I can't run I'm not a big manufacturer in campaign. We have options to get involved. We have so many ways to get involved. We've also now partnered with, used to be Hands On Nashville, now they're Hands On. And so if you're interested in volunteering, they can customize something for your company and get you involved. They also have a calendar that it's updated daily for opportunities throughout our 9-county footprint that you can get involved in. And so if you just like, I want to give back, I want to do something, I want to help, or I want my company to help, we have so many ways to get involved. Also, we have our own day of action coming up. That is our fall day of action, which is Give Thanks, that we speak about. And so if you're interested in that, either individually, with your church, with your company, we would love to get you involved there. And you can just contact me, 615-780-2401, 615-780-2401, and I can get you plugged in. But it's a great opportunity to give back to your community. And all it is getting some groceries. And as we all know, the grocery prices are continue to skyrocket, and it's even more of a need than it ever has been. So if you'd like to get involved, and like I said, it doesn't have to be part of a corporate deal. You can just do it. We have individuals that do it. We've had Girl Scout troops do it. We've had church life groups do it. Everybody under the sun, and we would love that. That's coming up. Distribution will be the second week of November, and so we'll have a drop-off day for Robertson County. We haven't finalized that, but it'll be around the week of November 11th. So around that week, we'd like to get them, distribute them to United Ministries, I think the Family Resource Center and Open Door Pregnancy. We'd like to get them the boxes with enough ample time before Thanksgiving so that they're able to get them all to the people in need. So opportunities coming up there. If you want to get involved, again, just give me a call, 615-780-2401. We'll get you plugged in.
That's a cool thing. I went and did some of the Thanksgiving boxes, a couple of them with my grandkids last year. So we'll plan on doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that was so much fun. They enjoyed it. It was a little bit of chaos.
Right.
I haven't shopped with little kids in a long time.
Hey, you talk about testing your patience.
Crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
So-
they get distracted easy.
Yeah,
so,
they
yes,
do.
yes.
They start throwing stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
so funny, but
Yeah.
I get so tickled at them. We'll have to put some little Jesuses in the box.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
Can I put some little Jesuses in the box?
You do whatever you want to do. So, yes. I have no problem with that.
What else you got for
I
us?
got a couple of events coming up. We just want to highlight one that we are going to be a part of next week ourselves. Clarissa Gardner's group, Chosen, which I don't know if she's already been here to talk about it, but we'll plug it again. She's having her third annual Fall Fest on October the 5th from 12 to 4 at 1519 John L. Patterson Boulevard in Springfield. They're going to have, it says, full day of music, food, arts and crafts, kids zone, pumpkin decorating, touch truck experience. Sounds like just basically everything you want to.
Wonderful.
She's amazing.
Love her.
She is one of those that every single place I go in this community, she's already there. First of all, she's beat me there, and she has so much energy and such a passion for what she does. So just a beautiful person that's serving our
What's
community.
the date of that again? Because
It's Saturday, October 5th, from 12 to 4. Next weekend, next Saturday, John L. Patterson Boulevard. We're going to have a table there. United Way will. And so there's our kind of purpose there is for like folks in the community that have resources, so that you can come have some fun. That'll be number one. But also, if you're in need of resources, they'll have some folks there that will be able to talk to you. So should be a fun day. I'm sure that time of year weather will be beautiful to come out. And I know there's a million fall things coming on, but her group does amazing work in the community and are helping people and helping young people. So if you get a chance, come out 12 to 4, October 5th, John L. Patterson Boulevard, 1519. Coming out, we'll be there. Catherine and I will be there. So look forward to seeing you. The other one I have is our friends at CASA have their Boo Bash Dash coming up on Saturday, October 26th, which for you football fans, I think Tennessee has a bye week that week, so no excuse. Come on out, just a free day. Come on out. It's the 5K race starts at 9 a.m. The fun run walk is 9:10. Registration is 8 to 8:30. Note it is at the Robertson County Fairgrounds this year. So
I think that's where they had it last year.
It
but
is.
They had it at different locations.
Travis Price, I think, for a while, so they want to make sure to let people know it's there. Yep, so come on out. Should be a gorgeous day to come out and get a little exercise in. Bring your family if you just want to do the fun.
What's the
fun
date
run.
again?
October 26th.
Okay.
And race starts at 9, but you can go. I just Google CASA Boo Bash Dash, and they have a run sign up page, and you can do everything online there. And
everybody dresses up.
Everybody dresses up. It's a ton of fun. So coming out, and obviously CASA does some amazing work, helping and supporting and protecting young people that are going through like a really difficult time in our community, and just they are just a huge part of our mission here in this county. So if you can support them, please do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I tell you, let me go ahead and pause and do my last break, and we'll come back and we'll wrap it up. As talking about CASA, though, I also want to mention we've got Decisions, Choices, and Options, their fundraiser dinner is Tuesday night up in White House, but it's a Robertson County fundraising dinner. And then Isaiah 117's dinner is then on Thursday next week. I have tables at both if you need a seat. So talk to me, but I have tables at both, and I need to fill them. So got lots of seats for the Isaiah house. I've got just a couple of seats, I think, for the Decisions, Choices, and Options, but these are for the Robertson County, because they do fundraisers for Decisions, Choices, and Options in other parts, like out in Huntsville. This is ours, so we need to be sure and get there on Tuesday night and Thursday night next week. You can come have dinner with me. I would love to have you join us, so reach out to me. But let's talk about Barry and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty. If you have any questions in real estate, you know what we're talking about. They have been one of our longest full-time sponsors, and we love them so much for that. But they want to make sure you know, if you're new to the community and you need some help in real estate, if you got somebody that wants to be a realtor, they want to be mentored into being a realtor. They both came out of other jobs and became realtors, so they can speak very specifically to that. They can give you all the help you need, and Exit is a great team to mentor you into the process. You can call Rebecca 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425, sellwithbecky.com, buy, B-U-Y, RobertsonCounty.com, specializing in Robertson County properties because they've been up in Cross Plains for nearly 30 years, but they also buy and sell in the surrounding counties and across the state line in Kentucky because they're like me from Kentucky. And just a great couple. And something we haven't mentioned lately, if you know somebody that's struggling that maybe their home's about to go in foreclosure, they've gotten behind, talk to a realtor. And that's something I never really thought to advise people, but I was talking to Barry and Rebecca one day and was talking about a friend that I knew that was going through that. And they're like, they need to talk to us because there's options. There's refinance options. There's all kinds of things. And I never even thought to point somebody to a realtor in those situations. But that's a great option.
That's a good idea.
And so just anything when it comes to your property, they're the ones to call. Barry, Rebecca Richards, his office is here in Springfield. He has a brokerage office. Hers is in White House. She has her agency office. And great friends. Exit Prime Realty. Again, Rebecca's number, 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425. And always, please let them know you
That was my two quiz. I wanted to get in. I know we had some stuff coming up, and like I said, just to circle back around with, this is our campaign time. So if you would like to get involved or interested in I always wanted to get involved and just want to talk, I would love to speak with you. And like I said, we serve 9 counties now, including most recently Montgomery, because I know we have a lot of crossover with people that live in one, work in the other. And so we kind of are in all of those areas now and a little more, out there and flexible with what we're doing. So if you're interested, let us know. We'd love to speak with you and get you involved. And it can be not just financial, but if you just want to get involved in your community and give back, we can do that as well.
And your day of action is when?
November 12th. That will be the actual main distribution day, but we're having little satellite distribution days in all of our surrounding counties. And so we'll set one for Robertson. So I have to get with Catherine and get a schedule where we can receive boxes but the main one is the hub is going to be at Geodis Park, which is a soccer field over in Nashville. That will be the big main distribution for the area, but we'll have ones in Clarksville and Dixon and Robertson County and all the counties that we serve. So we'll have smaller ones too that we can gather if you just want to do it here locally. So.
And that's the give thanks boxes.
Yeah, that's give thanks.
That's the ones that you can put together and take your kiddos out, grandkids out, and fill a box. And you can do anything you want to do to put those together.
And we have a shopping list as well, so you don't have to think about it. You just check the list off. And it not only provides food it's not just the Thanksgiving holiday, but the entire weekend. Because as we know, the kids are out of school. That's a long weekend. That's a lot of eating when they're at home, and so it provides food for that entire weekend. It also has a gift card in there that allows them to purchase whatever fresh goods they want, whether it could be vegetables or meat or whatever they like to do to prepare their meal. So I think this is the 5th year we've done this program, and it continues to grow. And I know for the people that we work with that actually distribute the boxes, like I'm going to use United Ministries, it's a huge boost to them at the end of the year because there's a lot of demand on these places around the holidays. And so it's unbelievable to be able to come in and kind of support them in that way too. So
and a lot of their resources, I know this has been with our benevolent center up in Madison, there's been a shortage of food coming in from Second Harvest, and that's one of the major sources. And it's just the cost is just really pushed down some of the things that have been available. So keep that in mind, man. It's going to be needed more than ever this year.
Right. Right. We want to feed as many folks as we can, and my goal would be able to have a surplus at a few of these places too. Is they have needs come in during the holidays, they're able to take care of those and not have to dip into their own resources.
Very
so
good.
Yep.
All right, Brian Pulley, United Way, and we appreciate you.
Yes, ma'am. Always good to be here, and you got a pocket full of Jesus when I leave in here.
Gonna take it and just spread some Jesus out in the community. Thank you guys for joining us. Tomorrow is our Faith Friday segment. Rachel Culver will be joining me. We're trying to do a remote broadcast. I think I can talk a little bit about this over on the plaza that's over by, like in front of Goodwill up in that area is the plan. But with the weather, Ilyu's telling me we might not be able to do it. So we're kind of, we might be on remote doing this, doing a tent revival kind of broadcast, because this is a worldwide Christian broadcast facility. But again, the weather may have to postpone that. We're just kind of waiting to see, but don't be surprised if we're out in the neighborhood tomorrow on remote. That could happen, but I'm excited about it. I haven't done a radio remote in years, since my Nashville days, so that's going to be fun. Looking forward to doing that if the weather will permit, and we appreciate you joining us. This is 1100 WSGI. God bless. Have a fabulous day.